Back in the olden days, when Disney was only just beginning to experiment with the fabled third dimension, their animation efforts peaked with The Lion King. This is why the original Lion King is iconic. From the beginning of production, the odds were stacked against The Lion King. It was to be the first Disney cartoon to be an original story and not based on older works, and the A-list animating team had chosen to work on Pocahontas instead. The story of Simba and Company was a big risk for the House of Mouse that defied all expectations to become the highest-grossing traditionally animated movie of all time. Featuring some of the catchiest music and most memorable characters in Disney history, The Lion King defined Disney for an entire generation. But it's the animation in 1994's The Lion King that truly makes the film iconic. As in 1942's Bambi, animators on The Lion King studied real-life animals for reference. Unlike Bambi, in which only a handful of common species like deer and rabbits were being animated, The Lion King featured a much more diverse cast of the African savanna. So, the animators studied hours of live-action footage and nature documentaries set in Africa. Animators also spent a lot of time at the Miami Metro Zoo to study the movements of animals that wouldn't fit at the animation studio, under the guidance of wildlife expert and documentary Emmy Award winner Ron McGill. Flying a huge team of animators out for an African safari would have seriously cut into the film's budget, and all the footage in the world of lions shot from a safe distance could never compare to seeing the king of the beasts right in front of you. So, Disney brought in legendary wildlife expert and animal handler Jim Fowler. Whereas a skunk was probably the most dangerous animal to the studio during the production of Bambi, Fowler brought several live animals from the African savanna to pose for the animators, including a 500-pound male lion named Joseph. Using inspiration from their live models, Disney animators combined the actors' facial features and performances, adding some exaggerated physical attributes to create characters that otherwise looked and moved like real animals. Mufasa was given powerful shoulders and a regal jawline to sell the character's strength and royal status, and to help differentiate him from the other lions. Similarly, animators used Jonathan Taylor Thomas's look and performance to imbue his young Simba with the actor's charm and personality. This choice of combining real actors with stylized but realistic animals presented an additional challenge for animators. The men and women responsible for the family of characters in Disney's Big Cat Hamlet took special effort to make it look like grown-up Simba bore a resemblance to both his dad and to his childhood self. Unlike previous characters that walked on two legs and acted like humans with only a few animal features, showing how an anatomically accurate lion or hyena feels takes a lot of work. Even the simple fact that these animals don't have hands meant animators had to find new and compelling ways to articulate emotion and relationships through body language. This unique approach to animating the characters, combining natural movements and mannerisms with anthropomorphic emotion and facial expressions, was monumental at the time. While computers were around to help with intensive scenes like the wildebeest stampede, which still took 2 years to animate with the most powerful computers at the time, the soulful look of The Lion King's hand-drawn animation is key to the film's legacy as a classic and its massive success at the box office. For a 1994 movie, The Lion King's close to $1 billion take isn't too shabby. Being able to witness the inspiration behind the setting and characters of The Lion King allowed Disney's stable of talented artists to bring them to life with vibrant color and brilliant style. Some have argued that the 2019 photorealistic remake, though it does add Donald Glover and Beyoncé, loses a lot of the charm and wonder that made the original such a lion-sized hit. The Lion King's remake ditches all of the style and personality inherent in the original's animation in favor of CG photorealism. Director Jon Favreau has said he approached the new film as if it were a documentary. And while the film looks absolutely amazing from a technical standpoint, the actual experience of watching photorealistic lions, mandrills, and meerkats sing and interact has been slightly off-putting for audiences and critics. Like Disney's Jungle Book remake and Netflix's Mowgli movie, the new Lion King fails to claw its way out of the CGI uncanny valley with its animal characters. Unlike Favreau's Jungle Book, 2019's Lion King doesn't feature a human actor for audiences to ground themselves with. Coupled with the fact that the new film is mostly a shot-for-shot remake of the animated original, it fails to push many boundaries in storytelling and innovation save for its raw technical achievements, measured in polygons and teraflops, instead of the emotional resonance and frisson the original continues to elicit to this day. Some members of the original animation team echoed this sentiment in interviews around the remake's release. While they totally appreciate the CG animators as artists that have to put a ton of work into making sure each boar bristle and lion's mane is pixel perfect, some say it doesn't have the same soul as the original. David Steffen, an animator who worked on the opening scene at Pride Rock, said in an interview with HuffPo, "If you polled the crew of the original Lion King, most of them would say, 'Why? Did you really have to do that? It kind of hurts.'" It's easy to see why they feel that way. No one thought The Lion King had much of a chance at success while it was being developed, and the animators, who weren't even the studio's first choice, put in the lion's share of work. They spent countless hours researching wildlife and developing new ways for animated characters to emote, something the remake struggles to pull off. Not only did they succeed, but they beat the odds, designing a groundbreaking animation style and crafting one of the most beloved movies of all time.